Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, we're ready to change over the calendar to a new month, but before we do, we must, as we always do, end with our Q&A. So you know the deal. Riddler goes up, you drop your questions down below, and I come back with answers, or I rant and ramble a lot, one of the two. So we're going to talk about everything from revamping the Chase cards, potentially, what I do for a living. We're going to talk about cruises of all things, because clearly I'm someone who seems like they've been on a cruise, all that and more. So of course, chapters 2 will be down below. We go really long here, but we want to give everyone a thorough answer, so if you want to bounce it around, feel free to do so. And without further ado, we've got a lot to get to, so go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. So, batting leadoff here. Caesar, are you going to the Creator Meetup in Vegas this September? So, he didn't even troll me with an Amex question, so we're off to a good start. So he's talking about Luke's Points and Miles is doing like a meetup for some, I think, from our smaller folks. I don't think you're going to see Ask Sebi there, but if you're stuck with us, out in Vegas, I think over Labor Day weekend, something like that. So, I don't like committing to things. I'm leaning heavily towards yes. There are two main reasons. One is because I need to be better doing fun things as well. Yes, it's a kind of a work thing, but still a fun thing, right? I can get too much into just doing my process and doing the same thing every day. I'm a grinding person by default, I guess you could say. Just work so darn hard. That's not really what I meant. But, you know, I'm really good at doing the same thing over and over again. Number two is, in all honesty, I mean, like, if people are really going to choose to take their vacation weekend, yes, it's Vegas. I'm sure people do other things. But they're going to take part of their time to come to a thing just to say hello, hang out, shake your hand. I mean, that's very flattering, honestly. And, you know, yeah, I'm appreciative of it, so it seems like the least you could do is be there. I'm not exactly famous enough where I've got a lot of people say, hey, you know who I want to meet? So, yes, leaning strongly towards yes. I just don't like committing to two things, so I can't say yes, but leaning strongly towards yes, if that helps. All right. Sound off down below who is going, by the way, if you guys are going. If not, go check out Luke's page as well. I can link it for you. He's probably got, you know, some new stuff about it. All right, Red Sox Nation here with a real question, which just brings a tear to my eye. So if you watch this show a lot, then you'll know why that's funny. Says, hey, RJ, with the Chase's core cards, the Flex, the Unlimited, Reserve, and Preferred, having so many overlapping categories, dining, travel, drugstores, you know, what card or cards would you restructure to make the earning rates seem more differentiated? Well, I mean, it's tough because they set it up that way on purpose, right? So I think the Freedom cards are actually fine because they do offer a lot. It's somewhat, I don't know how many people really go into drugstores that much. I only go to CVS for like allergy medicine once a month, but I mean, maybe people are going to drugstores. I know in other places, you know, it's more common to have drugstores on the corner where you can get snacks and stuff from or whatever, maybe. But obviously, it's set up so you could have both of them, but, you know, for their superpower, either 1.5x or the 5x back. I would prefer them to drop. Well, I guess, see, it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're going to get two of them. So I can say on the Freedom Unlimited, I prefer them just to go to straight 2x on everything and drop the other multipliers. But it still doesn't matter because you'd have the Freedom Unlimited then, and that would still have those categories. So would you roll the Freedom Flex back to the OG version and just go 5x rotating and 2x back on everything else on the Unlimited? I don't think that helps them with the masses of people. For the masses of people who don't have a bunch of different cards, these cards are really good because they have a bunch of different categories, right? So I think you actually leave the Freedom cards alone given what they're offering. The real question has always been the Sapphire line. I've said it before, I've said it again. I think the Sapphire Preferred, you have to make like the City Premier. Sapphire Preferred is a good card. I have it myself, but it's not better than the Freedom Flex. If you look at it, it's better than the Freedom Flex, obviously because it unlocks travel. It's different than the Freedom Flex because it unlocks transfer partners, the travel portal boost, and then, of course, the primary CDW is why people like it as well. There's a hotel credit. But multiplier to multiplier is really not that much better than the other ones. I know you've got 2x on travel. 2x isn't like that much better than it was 3x, isn't that much better than 1.5. So if you change it to the Premier version where you've got a bunch of 3x categories on all groceries, on gas, on travel, on dining, that's pretty good, and they're basically there already. Then what do you do with the Sapphire Reserve? I'd almost argue you could raise the Sapphire Preferred to maybe $1.50, keep the insurances, give it 4 Chase Lounge passes, assuming they build out the network, all those 3x categories plus the hotel credit. and transfer, that's probably fine. Then what do you do with the Sapphire Reserve? They still have to bump up the Sapphire Reserve. Hyatt and United must not want to give that card anything, because that would be the obvious answer there. But that's how I think you revamp them. I think Freedoms are fine because they're for the masses of people, and they do offer a lot for no annual fee. Sapphire Preferred, make it like the Premier, maybe $150 annual fee, matches the green card, add a few passes to it. Yeah, I think that's what you would do if they asked me. Inevitable here. Currently doing the Hyatt Built Explorers Challenge and Wyndham Match Challenge. He's going to have every status. In order to get MGM Gold and Caesars Diamond, the plan to get free cruises based on casino status. Any thoughts on that plan? Have people done this successfully? So he's talking about like Hyatt Rent or Built Rewards Rent Day offered something like Hyatt Challenge, where you could basically try out their top status. And if you did a bunch of stays, I think like a reasonable amount of stays, or like 25 or something, you could keep the status for like 2 years. And there's a bunch of different status matching you can do between Wyndham and MGM and things like that. So no, he's so I mean I think it's worth it. Last time I said this 2 statuses, the top status, Explorers and Globalists, like weren't really that different. Somebody yelled at me in the comments, so I won't make that mistake again. Strategy wise, I mean not really. I mean I think as long as you're going places, you know. Or, you know, you can find, if you need to just do mattress runs, you can find very cheap hotels usually. I mean, I remember staying in like Iowa or Idaho one time, and like the hotel manager was like, yeah, we get a lot of stays here. It was a Marriott, because, you know, people never check in. They just do it for the stay to get the night, because hotels are a little bit different. Like airlines, you have to take the flight. Hotels, you can just check in on the app and like it counts. So, you know, I would do that. I wouldn't spend too much money if you're just like making, you know, trying to manufacture the runs, but I think that's fine, given the promotion was really good and it lasts for so long. So if anyone's done this down below, let my guy know. But other than that, I would just look out for that, honestly. Or maybe do some nights at this Vegas meetup. Why not? All right, Evan Gibson. What card, personal or business, have you put the most total spend on all time? What is your cumulative % return for that card? I mean, I didn't do the math. I mean, it's either going to be one of two things. It's going to be by virtue of time, it would be my original Freedom card, because I would max out the $1,500 every single quarter buying a bunch of gift cards, and there's no annual fee for that. The other one would probably be my original Ink Unlimited, because for a long time that was my credit card funding card to fund my bank accounts with when I could. I canceled that card and opened another one, but it would easily be one of those two, because I was hardcore max out the categories every single time, just because. And I did that I got that card in 2013. So by virtue of time, it would be that one. By just really quick spend, it would be the Ink Unlimited. All the other ones are kind of just get spaced out a lot. I don't think there's any card that I hit ultra hard except for the category cards, really. So then the third place would probably be like a Freedom Flex or something like that, I think. So nothing crazy, but that would probably be my top 3 in spend, just with the shenanigans that we do here. I don't know what the % return is, but again, there's no annual fee, so we'll go with that. All right, here we go. Rem. How about this strategy for sub or sign-up bonus spend? Reduce tax and paycheck instead of pay IRS using 1.85% fees by quarterly deadline using credit card. Technically, this might even be a money saver with Bank of America card giving 2.62%. So a few things. I mean, I don't think you're playing with fire. I think taxes are a weird thing, so obligatory, not tax advice. But, you know, like, you have the option to like pick like how much the government withholds, right, from your check, and a lot of people like to withhold more so they don't have to owe at the end of the year, and you feel like you're getting a check back even though the government's just giving you your own money back at the end of the year. But it's one less thing to budget for. So I would say no matter what, whether you're doing a credit card strategy or not, you should always take as much money of yours as you can up front, because you have more money of yours to use. If you're watching this channel, there's a good chance that you know what you want to do with that money. The average person who really just doesn't want to budget and be bothered with it, so be it. But I claim the minimum amount, right? Like when you set your dependents, whatever, you claim like 1 for yourself, something like that. I think you can claim 0 if you wanted to, and they take even more. So I would do that no matter what. Then yeah, I mean, why not? I think that's fine. If you have Platinum Honors, like I have Platinum Honors, you like the gray card, the unlimited cash card moves up to 2.62. I think it's fine, especially since they did lower the processing fee for paying your taxes, or you're just chasing like you said, chasing sign-up bonuses. Either one would be fine. But yeah, I would do that. I do that now. I've actually taken houses out of escrow so I can pay the property taxes, because it's the exact same thing. You're just giving your money to the bank so they can hold on to it. You're not making anything for them. They pay your taxes and insurance for you. It requires you to be a little bit more responsible to budget, because you're still required to pay these things, but I mean, I think you can handle it for sure. So that's what I've started to do, because I'm not going to say it's free spend, because it's still money we have to owe, and I would prefer to not pay taxes on property taxes and employment taxes, but you have to pay it anyway, so you might as well make something for it, to your point. So yes, I endorse this strategy. It's what I do as well. All right, Skeagle. Thoughts on using Chase cards as cashback setup, redeeming a statement credits, and what card issuers would you add to complement setup? I mean, this is what I do. I use my Chase cards as cashback cards now and cash them out at the end of the year. I have 4 Freedom cards now, 2 Flexes, 2 OG Freedoms, and a Sapphire Preferred. I might keep the Sapphire Preferred because I do think it's helpful to have one travel card of sorts. I don't think that's a bad thing. So, but yeah, I do. I mean, you're still getting 1 cent per point, so I have no issues with it. What cards would you add to the setup? I mean, the great thing about cashback is you can add whatever cards you want, because you don't have to worry about points, currencies matching, and everything like that. So, custom cash is always a good one. Saver 1 is a sleeper card and a good one. U.S. Bank, I love-hate with U.S. Bank because of their redemption restrictions. I don't care for the redemption restrictions, but the Cash Plus and the Altitude Go are good ones. I mean, if you need a catch-all card, then it's probably something like a Double Cash or an Active Cash, or just relax some of their redemption restrictions as well. I tend to go Citi, because you can still transfer it out to your cashback out to any bank account, but I would just go down the list of like 4 to 5x cards and try to optimize for that. Add more Discover cards, anything. That's the beauty to me of cashback, is like we could just keep naming cards, honestly. But I would start with your 4. I would lay out the categories that you have, your top spend, and just go through the cards and say, okay, what covers this? So if you eat out a lot, okay, well, maybe it is the Altitude Go, or maybe it's the Citi Custom Cash. For me, the Custom Cash is usually my gas card, unless, this coming up quarter is going to be gas for the Freedoms, and I'll plug in the Freedoms, and I'll use Custom Cash for something else. But I would just start to cover your bases, all your spend, with a dedicated card. And of course, you have the category cards you can kind of swap in and out to, but you have a ton of options. So that's kind of how I do it. And so yes, I don't see any problem redeeming your Chase points for cash back. None at all. All right. Oh, back-to-back questions here. Skeagle again. Any issues with keeping high utilization on an Ink card, 89% at 0% after reaching the sign-up bonus for a few months? No, I mean, there's no real issue with it. I believe you still have to make the minimum payments every month, so you might want to set up just auto pay for that. I'd put a reminder in your phone. These things usually last for 11 months, so I would just treat it as an 11-month deal. It's not going to report to your personal credit, so it's not going to mess up your personal utilization there. I mean, it's definitely a strategy. It's free money. Might as well use someone else's money. So as long as you, again, remember that it's coming up, 11 months, like we said, and then put a reminder, make those minimums. I don't see a problem with it. Now, if you wanted more Chase cards, it's possible that they take that into consideration. If you want more, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's a possibility, but I don't see a problem with it, honestly. All right, next up, we either use Chase UR points or Citi points. What is the best way to really good cruise redemption from New York? You have to be new here, man. It's actually, I looked into this a little bit. It seems tougher than you'd think. Because if you go through, so you're talking about Chase and Citi, you've got the travel portals, right? So I don't know the cards you have, but maybe if you have a Sapphire card. From what I read, I don't think you can book cruises yourself through the Chase Travel portal. I think if you call Chase Travel, they can help you book it and use points. That's a little weird. And then Citi, you can book cruises through there as well. But what you also might want to look at is hotels like Marriott and those guys. They have I'm going to call them partnerships with some cruise lines. I don't know which cruise lines, but you can sometimes use your hotel points to redeem for cruises. So that might be better to actually take I'm making this up, take your Chase points, ship them to Marriott, provided you have a Sapphire card, and then use those points for a cruise. Again, you're going to have to I know you want to go from New York, but I don't know where you want to go, or, you know, what you're trying to do, what cruise lines, any of that. So you might want to look at that, see what hotel partnerships they have as well. I don't know when I looked at it, the redemptions didn't look as good, but I don't really know too much about cruises, honestly, to know what that cent per point is. But it's always, you know, the thing you want, cash divided by the amount of points it's going to take to get it, times by 100 will get you a clean cent per point number. So you could look at something like that as well. You could also look at, I mean, if you have the points, you know, if you live in New York, that's different. But if you want to take off from New York, you could simply use the points for your airfare or other things perhaps. But that's kind of how I would look at it from my limited knowledge. So if anyone is a frequent cruiser here, by all means, let our guy know down below. But I would look at those as options, but it's not as easy as it didn't seem as easy to me as you'd think. It's just booking flights and hotels through the portal, at least for Chase. All right, ask them here, for a trip to Vegas, what is the best Hyatt property to go for and best way to redeem flight redemptions to NYC to Vegas? I mean, so like if we're counting, because Hyatt in Vegas is like that partnership with MGM. So like if we're counting those where like you can have Hyatt status and then change it over to MGM, then I think your options really open up. I think it was in the Bellagio one and then the Aria one as well. I might be wrong on that. I didn't stay at either of them, but I remember walking through the Aria and they had like a giant mall attached to it. I thought it looked really cool. I'd never heard anything bad about it. It's funny, they have a bunch of different watch boutiques there, and I remember going to like Richard Mille, and like the dudes would not talk to us at all. And then those are like the $1 million watches. And I went to Audemars Piguet, no one would talk to us as well. And then I went to Tag Heuer, and they kept trying to sell my friend like this weird Tag Heuer with like a roulette dial on it. Like Tag Heuer's fine, but no one's paying full price for Tag Heuer. Wearing a Sky Dweller too. It's not like it wasn't just showing up in a Casio. That doesn't do anything with your question. But I would go with either of those two. I haven't stayed there, but when I've been in there, walking around, hung out there, like those seem nice. And I think if we count the MGM stuff, then I think that counts. As far as the NYC to Vegas thing, I mean, I think you really got to price stuff out, honestly. We know if it was me and I'm transferring points to Delta, then it's a classic like 1.2 cents a point. So if you've got a travel portal or something, again, I think you just got to kind of price it out. The big airfare redemptions are the ones you get, I think, when you're doing like the business class, the first class stuff, and that's usually international. Like domestic stuff, I don't really think you get that good of redemptions on. So honestly, I'd price it out and see what flight is most convenient for you timing wise, and then if you really want to get the max value, kind of just price them out between your travel portal or just doing it directly. Also, an underrated thing that I don't think people do enough is you can simply go take your category cards if you have them, buy gift cards, buy like Delta gift cards at 5% back and just use them to pay for the flight. Then you know you're getting 5%. And again, for a domestic, that might not be a terrible idea either, honestly. So I would do some things like that. But if we have any Vegas frequenters, let our guy know, or we'll need a place to stay after this Vegas meetup, so let us know that too. All right, DJ, what's your view on social casinos that offer daily sign-in bonuses like steak, like the food? They pay $1 a day just to log in. I never play that, collect my dollar and leave. Kind of similar to SoFi Invest that pays like $1 or 3 weeks. I mean, I think it's fine. They're offering money. Why not take the money? I think SoFi offers you like a penny every time you log into the app. So every day I log into the app. I don't think, it used to be more. It's not really worth it anymore, but it used to be like 10 points or something. But I do it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. This is the way they are trying to hook people in. They know there's a certain level of breakage. Like people like you are just going to take advantage for the free money. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you're asking me like on a larger level, like what is this right thing to do for society? I mean, I'm not a moralist here. It's a business model. I think people can make the choice to log in or not log in. I understand it's the gaming industry and that can go down a whole different path, but I mean, I don't have a ton of sympathy for it, really. I think it's fine. Really, it's no different than, you know, we could yell at any business about that. You know, people offering discounts, Kohl's offering Kohl's Cash all the time, so you have to keep coming back. They all do it. The gaming industry, for whatever reason, just gets a worse rap for it because it's probably more in our face with gaming, but I mean, you can still overspend all the time. We're more comfortable blaming people for their decisions with certain things than we are with other things. I'm not quite sure why that is, so I don't have a problem with it at all. Go ahead, get all the dollars that you can, because again, they're going to take all the dollars they can from you with no sympathy, so keep on doing that. Nathan here, RJ, you've talked somewhat about your work you used to do at the bank, but I'm curious as to what exactly you were doing and why you left, quit. Appreciate you. All right, so two parts. So historically, I do like banking, project management, and process improvement, which really isn't necessarily a hard job. It's just like a job that not that many people want to do. So it's like if you wanted to make a new product, a new banking product, let's say you want to make a home equity line of credit, something like that. You come in, you're like, hey, I have this really great idea for this new product, and then you just leave. And it's my job to figure out steps 2 through 9, with step 1 being the idea, step 10 being celebration, we did it. Again, it's not hard. These things have been done before, but it's really more so like, okay, we're going to roll out this new product. What should pricing be? What is everyone else selling it for? How do we price it? Do we have the capability to price it? Who's going to sell it? Do bankers know this is coming? Do they need training for it? Do we need to file any type of regular, legal requirements, things like that? Who's going to buy this once we write these loans? Are we going to hold them in our portfolio? What does compliance need to know? Who's telling the company about this? Are there other things we need to consider? Like, that's what I do, all of that stuff. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean I do every single job, but someone oversees it. So I would be overseeing or owning the implementation, designing and owning the implementation plan of how do we take this thing, this home equity product, and make it a real thing. I would take ownership of that, which is designing the process for it, which is the process improvement. I've got my Six Sigma black belt, my project management professional certification, all that good stuff, right? So managing that, pitching it out to leadership, keeping them in the loop. If there's clients involved, probably going with sales to talk with them, make sure we're onboarding them correctly. So it's a lot of different things like that. Make sure all the stuff that no one really wants to do gets done while the executives go to the golf tournament or the IndyCar race, things like that, which is fine. Someone's got to do it. And I don't mind it because then you learn a lot about banking because it sends me everywhere, all over the place. Risk management, sales, underwriting, marketing, compliance, you name it. So that's kind of what I did. I've done that in varying degrees of responsibility probably since 2013 or 2014, I would say. So the other part, why I left or quit, I didn't leave or quit. They fired me because I'm an acquired taste. So it was the Cliff Notes version of it. It was kind of so much like you get caught in like a power struggle of sorts, right? And so we got transferred to this other department. I didn't really want to go, of course, because they always ask, like, hey, do you want to go? I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, well, I'm not asking. Okay, fine. So after 90 days, it was apparent it wasn't really going to work out. We weren't really getting along that well. So I was like, all right, I'll just transfer out. No big deal. But that was probably the wrong move because of how it would have looked, I think, the optics to other people who were putting this team together. And yes, it's hard. I know it's hard to piece a story together. I'm kind of being vague of sorts. It's not to bring in people's names and anything like that. So long story short, we go back and forth. I didn't actually get written up. I got like a long email of here's your random 90-day performance thing, but it's not performance time. But it wasn't documented in the HR system because I looked and I asked, at least, maybe they could have lied. And so I asked to transfer again, and I was probably too honest about it, if we're being honest. And so then it was like, okay, the next day, get pulled into the office. I thought I was going to get written up. I didn't think I was going to get fired. And so technically it goes down as a layoff with like a whole severance. I think I got like $12,000 and like 3 weeks vacation time. So like probably 15, 16 grand total before taxes to just go away. But I mean, obviously any company can fire you whenever they want, but HR prefers it if you go through that 3-step process of verbal write-up out the door. So we just skipped all of that. We were doing mass layoffs anyways. It was easier just to say, hey, position eliminated, even though there were literally people with my same title across the hall. So that's what happened with that. So I do this now. I still look for jobs, take interviews. So if you want an acquired taste banking project management or process improvement professional, let me know. But that's the Cliff Notes version of it. I would have happily stayed longer, but yeah, we outlived my usefulness, so to speak. So that's kind of what I do. I would definitely go back to banking. I've been fired before. It's kind of, banking is kind of cyclical. We use like boom or bust type deal. We get these mass cycles of tons of volume, and then volume comes down. We got to do something with all these people. So that is what happened with that. Thank you for your question. Kazi here. He says, is churning mortgage bonuses the next game plan? No, I mean, mortgage bonuses aren't even that good. You can always find them. Usually there's something like, hey, we'll give you $500 back at closing, which isn't much. If you given like your general closing cost is like 1% of, I know you didn't, you just said just kidding, but you'll learn something. Like closing costs are generally like 1% of your mortgage loan, the total amount you're taking a loan. So $500 is basically like, we'll cover your appraisal costs really, which isn't bad. I mean, now there are better, I've seen as high as like $1,250 back at closing, which is significant, but again, it's significant because people are still buying homes, but the refinance stuff is dried up, hence the mass layoffs from the last question. So no, we're not churning mortgage bonuses. They're definitely not worth it. You should get something for it, but it's going to be very small relative to what you pay for closing costs. Next up, again, Kazi, do you think it's better nowadays to get a generalized category credit card instead of a store card nowadays? Well, I mean, so store card, as in like this card can only be used at this one store, like the legendary Kohl's card, right? The Kohl's charge card. No, I wouldn't go down that route. But like co-branded cards, I think have come quite a long way. So when I think of a store co-branded credit card, Amazon with Chase, 5%. Amazon with Amex Business, also 5%. The Target Red card is actually a sleeper card at 5% off. It's not, they don't give you cash back, but they take 5% off. The Walmart card with Capital One, who I know they're kind of fighting right now, but that's 5% as well. Instacart was 5%, DoorDash was 4%. So I think you gotta pay attention to the card. Like the Best Buy credit card is kind of good, but the way they pay out their points and these certificate things makes it kind of annoying and not worth it. But the cards we just named, if you count those as store cards and you frequent those stores all the time, then I think it's plenty fine to pick those up and add those into your rotation. Now, if not, then because you can add them alongside generalized category cards as well. So people love Target. Then yeah, you should probably consider the Target Red card because it's easier, just 5% off all the time, which is still effectively 5% cash back. Same with Amazon, and then you can just have those dedicated ones where that's going to be your savings, and then you can still add the other cards. But regular store cards, again, like the Kohl's card, no, I wouldn't bother with that. It's too limiting. And it's just not really worth it when you can earn cash back more easily. And plus, a lot of those coupons that they tell you, like the Kohl's coupons, like that 30%, they used to sell in this magazine. I used to get a lot of dress shirts from Kohl's before I got my own suit guy to just make them for me. That sounded pretentious. But they used to mail a magazine with a 30% code on it. But people just post the code online, so you can just find it without having to have the Kohl's card. So that's what I would say to that. Ninja Finance here. RJ, if you could only have one personal card and one business card, any issuer, what would they be? I mean, my one business card that I use now is the Blue Business Cash card from Amex, which is still surprising to people, but it's a 2% card. I'd probably go there. I'd get tired of the Ink Cash and having to go buy gift cards from the office supply store. And that's probably the correct answer, but I would go with the card that I do have. It's 2%. It's good enough for business, I guess. The Ink Cash would be a runner-up as well. You could still, if you want to go optimal value, you probably should go the Ink Cash. Personal card, I'm going to cheat a bit. I think if I only get one, since I am Bank of America Platinum Honors now, I might go with the gray one, the unlimited cash card, and just get 2.6 back on everything. Over time, that might even out versus trying to just nail down one card. I mean, because if you only got one, I mean, yes, you could go category card, but you're only getting $1,500 a month or a quarter, so that's not that much given everything that you have to buy. So that might be my answer, just because that would be to get me the highest rate on the most amount of stuff. I could also potentially see going to the Amazon cards. You do buy a lot from Amazon, but that still leaves a lot of stuff. So I think that would be it. I think they'd have to be the 2.62 card, and probably the Blue Business Cash or the Ink Unlimited card. Because if you go Ink Unlimited, then I still can get the gift cards that they have and use them on other things. So I guess that's the answer. If I can count my Platinum Honor status, that is the answer. A tough question. It's like when people ask some of you parents to pick your favorite kid, I guess, right? It's just as serious, right? Jeremy, back from retirement. It's been a minute. All right, so now we are 6 months into 2023. What is your strategy for the next quarter? You know, I was thinking the same thing because after this, I have to sit down and do my what's in my wallet for Q3. I need another card to pay taxes, my property taxes with for summer, so it's probably going to be a business card. Maybe the U.S. Bank leverage card, perhaps that one. I applied for the Citizens business CAD, whatever there is for 1.5x for the bonus, like $325. I actually got denied for it. So like they said my business hadn't been old enough. I forgot that I actually opened that account with the real EIN number and everything. So maybe the leverage card to pay taxes with and then use. And then I really have to decide, am I going to get the Amazon card finally when they come out with this Prime Day deal for just sign up and get $200? Freedom Unlimited. I have basically one more 524 slot that I can max out, and technically the Amazon card I think still falls outside of 524 mysteriously, so it could be another Freedom Unlimited. I don't really want another Freedom card just for optimal strategy. I really want to move on to doing my Bank of America thing we just talked about. So I'm really debating in my head, do I can stay optimal strategy, max earning value, get my way to the Freedom Unlimited, has its next bonus, then get that, and then move on to Bank of America. Plus, I need a business card because with property taxes are so much, you might as well just use a business card to hit that higher spend. So that's something like that. But this is the debate that goes on in my head lately because I'm gonna have to figure it out pretty soon because property taxes come out like middle of July, early July. You don't have to pay them till like September, but still, I don't like to let it sit out there. So something like that. So if you have any business card recommendations, cashback stuff generally, I will take them down below. All right, next up, any specific cards you recommend for a family cruise vacation? Why are people going on cruises? Just stay inside. All the cruise cards, I think, are with Barclays, aren't they? I think they are. So, I mean, I think if you wanted just a general travel card that could work, I think I've actually seen the Capital One still has the thing where you can use your points. Is like that, don't they still have like that purchase, that racer, that travel purchase eraser? Because then you could get like a Venture X or something and just, you know, even if it's a cruise, you'd still be getting 2% on your travel stuff. I don't know if they do travel stuff through their portal or not, but then you could just take your points and kind of like, you know, cover that expense. But I mean, I guess you could technically do that with just by statement credit with any other card. So I'd look at that. If not, I would go and, like what we said earlier, look at the partner hotel programs and see if there's a way to earn a certain set amount of points that you can then transfer over or use to redeem for a cruise. Again, I know Marriott has some. I'm sure they all do. I just don't know them off the top of my head. That could be a good option to look at as well. Again, look at Barclays. Their cards, the cards aren't amazing. I mean, they're just like 2x back cards, which you could do with a double cash, but they could be good for a sign-up bonus as well. That's why I call Barclays the junk drawer of credit cards, because every so often, something in the junk drawer comes of use. So I would take a look there as well if you have something specific in mind. But the hotel partner game, Capital One seems like it might work for this, or just get a Barclays card and just, you know, get the actual points to redeem towards the cruise, especially if you have two players. I mean, getting both of those should probably get you where you need to be, but I don't know how expensive cruises are. All right, God's Eagle, that's a good name. There's a Lamborghini in the picture. 380,000 IHG points. What should I recommend them? Go on a cruise. They're all the rage today. I think you can actually do like the Maldives and Bora Bora, which is, you know, the Ask Sebi thing. I think I looked it up and it's like you could probably get, I think you could get almost 3 nights with that amount of points. And then if you had one of the IHG cards, if you could get a little more IHG cards, one of them gives you like the 4th night free, I think they have. So really, if you did that, I think it still counts if you use points, perhaps. I'd have to look into that more. But if you did that, got a little more ING points, you could probably get that 4th night free thing. Then you've got a really cool trip planned. You know, it's funny. I actually talked to Mandy from Ask Sebi a while back, and I was like, I blame everyone for liking travel for you guys and all your Maldives. She's like, what, you guys, you don't want to go to the Maldives? She's like, it's not that I don't want to go, I just don't want to pay for it. But 380 IHG points should get you pretty far. So you could look at that. If you have one, I assume you have one of the IHG cards, because that 4th night free kicking in should help, and then you could actually do something really cool like that. Like 4 days is probably enough, I would imagine. So safe travels out there. Leprechaun here with our annual rhyme. I want more gold shillings and crypto. I'm not yet willing. Tell me, will Bitcoin make me a killing? Doubtful. You'll probably lose your shirt on it. Or they'll take your rainbow or whatever. I don't know. Is that where if they put gold at the end of a rainbow, I don't know where they put Bitcoin at. No, I mean, I've never been a crypto person. I understand the Bitcoin piece, but I've said it before. I don't understand why there's 58,000 coins. I don't understand why they're worth anything. I understand that you can make the same argument about the American dollar, except the only difference with the dollar is I need a $20 to be worth $20 just like you need it to be worth $20. And like, as long as that part is true, then we're good. We're just going to keep going along with the great lie together. The crypto stuff, I just don't really understand. I know it's just a rhyme. I probably shouldn't even given you this much time with it, but no, I don't think it's worth that. All right, Feather Pony here. We're getting close to the end for people getting tired of me talking. I really wish the community would help each other get their foot in the door of credit unions with great credit cards as their relatives, in quotes. I have some hard to get into memberships, and I'm looking to add some other hard to get memberships. Well, we kind of do. It's the one thing that I paywall here, and that is Profitable Pro, which is the channel's Discord, which is between this channel and the second channel, Run on the Bank, where we talk about bank bonuses. Now, I don't believe your specific use cases come up, but we constantly refer each other to things. I know the credit union referring people has come up before. I don't have a list of the credit unions that people have, but if you become a channel member, you get access to the Discord, both of them in one. You only have to join on one channel. It's like $5 a month. And the goal is that, you know, I would use your referral links if you have them in blogs, in videos, and as long as I can make you back your membership fee every year, anything else you get is just, you know, added value. Like this would be added value. I mean, we have some people who make a ton of money on it because they're very aggressive. We have other people who I think just there to support, and it's fine. I appreciate it. If you're looking for something specific, I can ask the community. I don't paywall information from the community. I simply paywall the fact that I'm not going to use your links for things, but that's not really what you're asking for. But the premise of your question is partly why I started that, because I wanted something where, you know, people who want to play really aggressively can go, and I wanted to make some extra money too, but the only way to make money, I believe, is to help people make even more money themselves, not just ask for money. So to answer your question, that's kind of what we do there. The join button down below won't make you join, but it'll basically just give you a spiel that I just gave you. If you're interested, you can come check it out. And if you come and check it out and you're like, hey, this sucks, then you can cancel it and leave. That's fine. I'll still answer your question here. But that's kind of, to your point, that's exactly what I'm trying to solve with the Discord piece. There's no other paywalled content. I don't make special videos or anything like that. You can still talk to me. The reason I have Instagram and Twitter so people can talk to me if they want. None of that gets paywalled. It's literally just the links in joining. And again, you just have to join on one channel and you get access to both. So there's that. I don't think you wanted a sales pitch, but there's a sales pitch. All right. Next up. Why is nobody complaining about Capital One marketing their lounge network as a benefit of the Venture X, yet it has been open for multiple years and still only a single lounge? Is that really a benefit? I mean, I think you have a fair point. Are we giving it a pass? Yeah, but no more so than we give everyone else a pass for their thing. We give Chase a pass, and they continuously avoid high-spend categories. We give Amex a pass, even though they're very difficult, and I think they're the specialist thing ever. So yes, I think saying a lounge network, I think when they're talking about it, they're talking about the lounge network as a whole, where they have their one lounge, they have priority pass, they had Plaza Premium when others had dropped it. I think that's what they're talking about. But I mean, yes, I don't know how long it takes to open a lounge. I mean, it took Chase even long. I think we give Chase an even bigger pass. I mean, we're talking about Sapphire Lounge, it's just showing up in like public record, not even breaking ground. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I wouldn't necessarily look at it as like this amazing benefit unless you fly out of DFW, fly to DFW. And even then, I mean, I don't know, how big of a benefit is it really? Yes, I went to that one. Is it nice? Yes, but everything's nice when it's brand new. So I agree with you. It's a little bit of a pass for sure, but I think when they talk about it, they're talking about the entire lounge network. So yeah, as I agree with you on that. All right, they hate me. If you could only have one co-branded credit card, what would it be? It'd be easy. It'd be the Amazon card. If it had to be co-branded, which I don't think is the spirit of your question, I'm going to guess you mean like travel card, but for me, it'd be the Amazon card. I buy a lot of stuff off Amazon. Amazon sells gift cards. I bought these monitors, these studio displays, by buying Apple gift cards on Amazon and then putting them into my Apple account and then buying the monitors. So for me, it'd be the Amazon card. As far as travel co-branded cards, I mean, there's not really one that stands out to me. I think the Amex Marriott business card is a keeper one, especially after the refresh. Hyatt, maybe. I'm getting more into Hyatts these days. We've had a few Hyatt questions, but for me, without a doubt, co-branded, it would be the Amazon card. I think that's a really good card. All right, Rude Boy. What would RJ rather use, the Navy Federal Flagship card or the Sapphire Preferred? I mean, the honor that they would give me, could I actually consider myself a patriot and reject an invite to the Navy Federal card having no military affiliation? So if I can do it without being a communist, then I would still probably pick the Sapphire Preferred. I think you get more slightly, well, no. The Navy Federal actually does give you, I think it gives you like you get the TSA thing, you get 3X on traveling, 2 back on other things. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd still probably go Sapphire Preferred because with that hotel credit, you get it down to $45, and then you get the elevated travel portal, which you'd be going through the travel portal, booking travel, which you get the elevated rate. Plus, when you turn around to redeem the points, they're worth more. So I would go Sapphire Preferred, especially obviously because you can add the supporting cast with one-on-one because of the hotel credit. And I think you can value the hotel credit at face value. I will probably use that hotel credit when we do the Vegas thing if I go. So I'd go Sapphire Preferred. All right, 2 more. Matt Kramer here. RJ, I have a question about Chase Freedom cards. Flex and Unlimited. Soon I'll pass the 24-month mark and be ready to apply and get that bonus again. However, I noticed something I wasn't aware of. In addition to the 24-month time period from previous bonus, the Chase site has verbiage that indicates this product is available if you do not have this card. Caught me by surprise. I thought you could have multiple. So, okay, you can. Here's what you have to do. You have to, so you have the Chase, so let's just say you have the Chase Freedom Unlimited. I just did this. You have the Chase Freedom Unlimited. What you have to do is you have to call in and say, hey, I want to product change my Freedom Unlimited to a Freedom Flex. If you get the right person, they will let you do it to an OG Freedom. I'm 1 for 1 in doing that. They let me do it when I changed my Sapphire Reserve to an OG Freedom. But then the last time I tried to change my Freedom Unlimited, they said no, and I didn't care enough to call back in to keep calling until I got someone who did it. But you take the Freedom Unlimited, you call in, you change it to a Freedom Flex, provided you have not had the Freedom Flex sign-up bonus. Because again, product changing does not get you a sign-up bonus. So let's make this make sense here. So let's say you have the Freedom Flex and the Freedom Unlimited. Okay, so you've gotten the sign-up bonus for the Flex, you've gotten the sign-up bonus for the Unlimited. You could do this either way. It's more beneficial, in my opinion, to have more Freedom Flex cards than it is Freedom Unlimited cards. So what you do is you'd phone in to Chase, say, hey, look, I want to product change my Freedom Unlimited to a Freedom Flex. They're going to say, absolutely, sir, no problem. So then you would have 2 Freedom Flex cards. Then wait a little bit. I don't know, maybe. I mean, the safest bet would be wait to the next billing cycle, but I've seen people do it much quicker. And then you could apply for the Freedom Unlimited again. It's been 24 months since you had that card. You no longer hold the Freedom Unlimited. Now you have 2 Freedom Flex cards and a Freedom Unlimited. That's how you do that. So because it's harder to get the OG Freedom than it used to be, it's really more advantageous to just pick the one you want, keep cycling through one of them. I mean, you could technically keep changing the back if you wanted. I think it ends up being more headache than it's worth, but that's how you do that. All right, last one, Striker here. Is it possible to get the sign-up bonus for the Chase business cards more than once? I'm thinking about applying as a sole prop for the cash, unlimited, and the preferred, then cycling through all the sums again using my LLC's EIN. Yeah, I think people still do that. I think you can do that, actually. I think that's still a rule. I mean, you want to put some space between it because you're still the primary signer on it. But yeah, I believe the Chase, you can still apply for your sole prop, your name is the business, your social security, and then go through with an EIN number as well. I just put some space between it. Similarly as the last question, the same rules apply if you wanted to just cycle through. Like I had an Ink Unlimited product. I think I just canceled it, then got another Ink Unlimited after 2-year mark, so you could do that as well if you wanted. But yeah, as far as I know, the SSN EIN trick is still in play. If anyone, I haven't done it myself, but if anyone's heard differently, by all means, let our guy know down below. But yes, I think you could do that. You did ask about cooldown period. I mean, I think I would still apply the same cooldown period of like, what's this, like 2 cards every 30 days or something, like, or 2 cards in 30 days, I think is the max that they generally want to do. I would put, I would put at least 30 days in between applications. That's how I've generally done it. I haven't run into any issues. So if you wanted to go, hey, it's, July 1st, apply, then, August 1st, apply again, you're going to keep doing it like that, I think that would be fine, because I still think they will pick up on it being the same signer overall. So I'll just be mindful of that. But other than that, yes, it should work to get all the ink cards you want. So there we go. There is all your questions. We finished in under an hour, go figure. We talked a lot about cruises, so I guess I have some vacation to go book. Anyways, guys, you made it this far. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, you found it interesting. Drop me a thumbs up down below. Of course, check out the channel members piece as well. Of course, follow us on ProfitableContent.com, the channel's website, where we have the latest news stories, credit card offers, and bank bonuses. I just asked you a bunch of questions and hopefully answered them. So if you need any other clarifying information, feel free to let me know down below. But if not, as always, thank you so much for writing in and watching. And I will talk to you very soon in the next one.